And we're taking you now to the climate change rally starting on the National Mall. It is just getting underway. This is live coverage on C-SPAN.
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do when our water is under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do when our air is under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do when our communities are under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do when our water is under attack?
Stand up, fight back!
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 Make some noise!
Yeah! Indeed.
That is what it is about.
Yes, it is.
We're here to demonstrate our collective energy as people for the protection of not just ourselves, not of just this moment, but for all generations and all life on this planet. And each and every one of us are demonstrating that power today. Give yourself a round of applause.
Yes, y'all can do better for yourselves. Come on, stand up, clap up. Yes.
So to start us off, I wanted to pay recognition, have my relatives come on stage here. Come on up. We're going to start off our program. And so most of you know, I guess I'll ask a question. Who has ever heard of Standing Rock? Make some noise. This year has been a pivotal year for the fight for climate justice. Numerous communities across this country for generations have been struggling for their self-determination and ability to protect their water, their land, their bodies. And this year, we saw a prime example of that up on the Cannonball River in North Dakota, and so-called North Dakota, in Oceti-Sakowin territory. And people have seen, and many of you came out, supported. Make a round of applause if you went to Standing Rock. Make some noise if you supported in some way the fight against Dakota Access Pipeline. That's right. Well, who we have on stage right now are some of the water protectors, the first water protectors who set up that camp, that Sacred Stone Camp. Most people don't know, but that camp was established April 1st of 2016, last year. They were out there fighting Dakota Access Pipeline. So I want to go down and ask them to say their names so you know who they are. And we're going to have our relatives, Courtney and Dawson Yellowfat, who are Standing Rock citizens, give them an honoring song. I'm going to ask us all to give our collective energy in honoring our first water protectors against Dakota Access Pipeline, also our water protectors across the world who are putting their lives on the line.
Mataki api chante nape chazuzapilo wambly wichasha mielo. My name is Montgomery Brown. I'm from Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. I live in Waukpala, South Dakota.
Hamitaki api shtashka hemielo na Waukpala shte mataha na wambly paha alwati. I'm just, like to thank all of you for standing up with us at Standing Rock. Thank you for hearing the call. And thank you for being here today and continuing to be here. Now let's shut it down.
Mitaki api chante washte nape chizaplo. Wiaka Eagleman Hamielo. I am Sichangu Lakota from Rosebud, South Dakota.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris Walton. I'm from here in Washington, D.C. I've been living in Standing Rock for 5 years. And I really appreciate all this love. This is awesome, man. Thank you.
Oh, Madaka pi, Wilma Macha pilo, Standing Rock ina, Emma. Standing Rock Emata ha, Nale ha, Rock Creek, Chante Washte Nape Chiuzapi. Hi, my name is William Brownrider. I'm from Rock Creek, South Dakota, and I'd like to thank all you guys for supporting us. It really means a lot.
Myron Dewey, Digital Smoke Signals. Hamadakiapi, chante washte nape chuzapi, ian koshwi machiapi, ian waslaha hemataha. Hello, all my friends and relatives. I greet you with a heartfelt handshake. My name is Bobby Jean Three Legs, and I'm from the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. And this is the biggest family that all of us are ever blessed with.
Madakiapi, my name is Tamakawa Shtewi, her good earth woman. I'm from the Cannonball River, Standing Rock Sioux tribe.
Midakiapi, Wambly Wiakawi Imachiapi, Chante Washte na Bechiuzapi. My name is Joy Braun, and if it wasn't for this woman and all of these people here standing here, I wouldn't have gone out there. Me and my cousin Wiaka, we were the first ones out there camping on April 1st, 2016. There was snow on the ground. The ask came from the spirits for each and every one of you to take the cry of Miniwichoni to where you live and grow more water protectors. So I humbly thank you for all of your support.
Anim bonjour, chike, Indigenous Kaskiway, New Quay, and Dudam, Sakin First Nations. I reside on White Earth Nation with my sister. I work with Honor the Earth, and we were more than happy to come out and help out. They pulled out on line 3 only to buy 28% into the Dakota Access Pipeline. So we had to get out there, brought our horses, and rock the lands.
Hamadakiapi, Chante Washe Nape Chuzapi, Dawson Elfat and Machiapi. All my friends and relatives. My name is Dawson Elfat, and I'm from Standing Rock.
Oh, Midakiapi, Courtney Elfat Machiapi. Oh, I'll move out of the way. Canada keeps slapping me in the face here. But I thank you all for supporting us. Thank you, because hugging a tree, loving a river, or anything, something like that always seems like you feel all alone sometimes. But then when you see a crowd like this gather, you know that eventually maybe that guy that lives in that house is going to listen. If not, we're going to have to make him listen. Midakiase.
So we're going to ask for this moment, we're going to do an honoring song for our water protectors who put their lives on the line, who are arrested, who sacrificed countless hours and days and weeks and months, not only for the benefit of the water, but for their families and future generations. So our relatives are going to sing a song for us.
Hey,
about that, relatives? I want to give a last shout out to our youth runners who ran all the way from Standing Rock to start this movement to the White House. You all know this chant. Mini-Wachoni. Mini-Wachoni. Water is life. Mini-Wachoni. 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 Make some noise.
Hi, my name's Christine Nobis. I'm Plains Cree Saulteaux of the George Gordon First Nation in Saskatchewan, Canada. And I grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, but I'm living in Iowa for 10 years. And that's where we continue to fight DAPL in Iowa at Little Creek Camp. That's why I'm up on this stage, actually. I'm here today to talk to you about the circle of resistance and the reason why I'm on this stage. I'm up here because it's time to stop negating the past and not worrying about our future. It's time to start telling a better truth. You know, don't you think? It's time to wake up. Wake up, Donald Trump! Wake up, Scott Pruitt! Justin Trudeau in Canada, wake up! If you don't wake up, we will wake you up. So, we are here today because we are here to talk about the future, right? What's happening with our climate. All of you are here because you can feel it, right? You can feel the change in the weather. You can see the changing landscapes. You can see the violent storms. You can see the chemicals in our water. You can feel them. You're drinking them. But I wanted to let you know that we have a solution for this problem. And one of these, solutions is to decolonize our minds. Like this wagon over here, this art installation that we spent a few weeks building. Remy is the artist. These arrows that are in this wagon, they're arrows of decolonization. And these arrows represent the things we need to do to decolonize our minds. They mean a lot to us. It took us a long time to think about these and what they mean. Sovereignty is one of them. Sovereignty for Indigenous people, because we need to support the Indigenous cause, right? Reparations, language, community, education, to feminize. We need to bring the feminine back. Because colonization destroyed femininity, and we got to bring that back. We need to be together, all of us. We need to work together as a huge, massive group of people and mobilize together and make a difference. That's all we got to do. The human race, yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much. I appreciate being up here.
Woo! Hello, everybody! I know it's hot. I know we just got done marching. How ironic. My name is Candy Moss, and I'm visiting you from North Dakota. To those of you that came to North Dakota, I'm sorry on behalf of myself for the way some of you were treated by the police forces there. We're not all like that. You can come visit me if you'd like to in my little tiny town of Newtown, North Dakota. What I'd like to do is say there were about 200,000 people marching in the streets today. Woo! And I want to say I love you guys. I love you way back there. I see you by the porta potties back there. We love you. I want to say hello to my Intakes Roots delegation. God. Water is life. 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 Make some noise.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Myron Dewey with digital smoke signals, doing the drones out there at Standing Rock. I just want to thank you all for your solidarity. Your keyboard warriors out there, give you guys a big old shout out. Water Protector Keyboard Warriors, thank you very much for all your help, your prayers, blessings. And right now, contact Morton County. We got 800 plus water protectors still going through the process and the violations. Thank you guys, many blessings. Aho.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Let's give it up, everybody. Woo! Yes, especially thank you to Candy. That's my forever friend. We was pregnant together and everything. What's up? Hey, okay. Women of color are always holding it down. Shouts out to the women in here. All right, I see you, Fims. I see you, men's too. How y'all doing? All right, so we want to give it up to two amazing women that are going to come and speak to us. They are representing the It Takes Roots delegation, coming from all over Turtle Island, all over the world. First and foremost, we have Pam Tali, who is with Grassroots Global Justice and with the Climate Justice Alliance, It Takes Roots delegation. She was here 26 years ago for the signing of and the creation of the environmental justice principles that we guide our work by today. If you do not know those principles, you do not know environmental justice. So if you got a chance, if you got your smartphone, Google principles of environmental justice. Next up, we also have, along with Pam Tali, we have Naisha Mallet. Naisha Mallet, give it up for her. Representing the youths. Representing the Uprose in Brooklyn. And they're representing the It Takes Roots delegation. Go ahead, I'm gonna let you have the mic.
Hello, everybody. How y'all feeling today? Y'all hot? Y'all woke? All right, all right. My name is Naisha Mallet. I'm 16 years old, and I'm a youth organizer with Uprose. Woo! We're in Brooklyn, New York. I'm so inspired to be in front of all you beautiful people today who are committed to climate justice. And I'm honored to be fighting alongside you to make a better tomorrow. I'm proud to be here representing my beloved Brooklyn, my black community, my youth community, my female community, and my frontline communities, all in solidarity to the frontline communities across the world and globally. As a young black Caribbean teen, I'm well aware that my life is in jeopardy because of climate change. Climate change is a racial justice issue. Climate change affects people of color, especially young people of color, first and worse. We contribute the least to climate change, but experience the brunt of the climate crisis. We're going to be the ones experiencing the worst effects of today's actions. Too many neighborhoods and communities of color in New York are exposed to pollution and suffer health consequences because of it. We experience water shortages, power outages, and we're the most vulnerable to extreme weather, which is becoming more and more common. Climate change is one of the greatest risks to low-income communities of color. It can undo decades of development and hamper with our access to natural resources. It causes displacements of homes, local-owned businesses, and in our land in general. Our power is necessary to stop climate change and build a just transition to a system that values our lives. I'm committed to climate justice movement because climate change continues to affect my family and me in the worst way possible. As extreme weathers become more frequent and harsh, it continues to destroy the homes in my neighborhood, in my community. And when I say my community, I'm not just talking about Brooklyn. I'm talking about the larger community in which I belong to. I identify with the African diaspora. Our community here locally suffers the worst from climate disasters. Just think about Hurricane Katrina. Also, my mother comes from Grenada. The Caribbean community has long suffered disasters from climate, most recently Hurricane Matthew, which devastated the islands in the Caribbean. I fight for climate justice for my newborn baby cousin, Kelsey, so she can grow up in a world where her life is not in jeopardy due to the mistakes of the people who lived before her. I fight for climate justice, I fight for myself, I fight for my people, and I fight for our future.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pam Tao-Lee, and from the streets of San Francisco, Chinatown, to right here in Washington, D.C., I am hyped. I've been told that in the 26 years since I came here last to help build the environmental justice movement, I've become an elder. Woohoo! So, as an elder, I want to share some things with you and send you off with some marching orders. Are you all right with that? So I want to get a little serious here. You know that on April 4th, 1967, Dr. Martin Luther King, he dared to speak truth to power. And for those words, Dr. King paid the ultimate sacrifice. You know that, right? He dared to expose what he called the giant triplets. You know what those are? Racism, capitalism, militarism. Am I right? These giant triplets are what drew folks like me and Bob Bullard and Tom Goetooth and Richard Moore and Connie Tucker and Dana Austin to Washington, D.C. in 1991 to the first National People of Color Environmental Leadership Summit. There were 600 of us who met to build a national and an international movement that will fight for environmental justice. And that day, we crafted the 17 principles of environmental justice, which would guide the frontline communities to 1, confront environmental racism, fight the destructive nature of capitalism, oppose militarism, and we were there to uplift the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights. There we also affirmed sovereignty and self-determination. In the words of Grace Lee Boggs, these principles lay the foundation for a new constitution. Did you hear me? A new constitution. Today is Trump's 100th day. We are living under the giant triplets agenda on steroids. An agenda that is fanned by fear and hate. But you know and I know that where there is oppression, there is For me, I am witnessing resistance, but it's a resistance today of vision led by frontlines solutionaries. Are you going to be a solutionary? Say it one. I will be a solutionary. Dr. Dr. King's speech was titled Beyond Vietnam, because we are here because you believe that we, the people, can take back control. We can move beyond Trump. We are in a moment of one struggle, many fronts. Is that right? From the struggle against police brutality, to building the wall, to the struggle to protect water, resistant hubs that you're going to go back and create will be emerging across the country. These are your marching orders. Take it from Grandma. To go beyond Trump, we must stand together in our resistance. On Monday, it is May Day. Am I right? This is when we, from the climate justice environment community, this is when we stand up together to resist with a vision and fight for solutions that are good for all the people and not for profit. Finally, to go beyond Trump and the giant triplets, we must commit to live in balance with Mother Earth. And that means, repeat after me, no war, no warming, coal, gas, oil, leave it in the soil. One struggle, many fronts. Again. Again.
Yes, thank you. Let's give it up for It Takes Roots, everybody. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Y'all still hot? All right, that's okay, because it's a good feeling to be hot this day. Y'all better check the weather. Remember, there's water stations on 17th Street near the restrooms. If you need to get something to eat, there are food trucks on 14th Street. But we want you to stay with us. Look across the street over there to my right, your left. That is the William Jefferson Clinton building. That is where the EPA works, the Environmental Protection Agency. Now, our next speaker, he is the local president of the American Federation of Government Employees, and he represents EPA Local 3331. His name is Nate James. Now, Mr. James is here to talk about who gets hurt first and worst when we talk about government cuts. It's not just a person with a nice office. It's all of the government employees, everyday people who make up Washington, D.C. And he's also a veteran. So we're talking about also cutting jobs for veterans. Is that all right with y'all? No, not at all. So when the EPA is under attack, what do? When the EPA is under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. All right, let's give a warm, warm welcome to Mr. Nate James.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I am so excited to be here because I speak to you as a conduit for all those employees that are working under duress and great amounts of stress at the EPA. I'm not talking about bureaucrats, politicians, or all these other folks that we've been misled into fighting each other about. I'm talking about people just like you sitting out here in this audience, EPA employees that are hardworking and dedicated to service. Service. That's a word that I've been using for the entire duration of my life. Grew up as a Boy Scout, a Cub Scout, 20 years in the United States Marine Corps, 17 years right here at EPA headquarters. And it saddens me to see my fellow workers afraid to speak to you about what they do. They do a large number of things for us, but I want to try to bring it home to us so it means something to you. I hope that when I speak to you today, that you will take some of the words that I say to you back home with you. Did you eat breakfast this morning? If you ate breakfast, will you eat dinner tonight? Something as simple as that the EPA has a role in, because chemicals are a part of our everyday life. I'm not going to make it a bad thing, but they have to be controlled, and that's what EPA does. These corporations, it's all about the buck. That's what it's all about. The bottom line is dollars, but dollars do not trump people. People trump dollars. People over profit. We got to get there. These cuts against America are cuts against the American fabric. These are attacks against the American public. If anyone else was doing what this government is doing to us now, what this administration is doing us to now, it would be declared an act of war. Not a month ago, just a few weeks ago, in Syria, sarin gas was sprayed, and the United States acted immediately. We acted swiftly. They used sarin gas on folks in Syria. Did you know? I learned this word just a week ago, so help me, I'm not a scientist. Chlorpyrifos, it's a chemical. It's used on our fruit. If you ate breakfast this morning, strawberries, soybeans, but it's in the same chemical family as the sarin gas that was used over in Syria. We don't know these things. If the EPA employees could talk to you, you would know more about things like that. How many of us play football? Moms take our kids to soccer fields. We play on golf courses. If the grass is green and it's greener than it normally is, we need to ask why. Because there's chemicals, and I'm going to use the S word. Science, it's real. All these things we do. All these things we do, they're related, and they come back home to us. They're at our table. I have 5 grandchildren. One is autistic. I have a large family. Some suffer from asthma. And as these chemicals are used, but worse when they're abused, and believe me, without EPA, there's going to be a lot more abuse going on, because corporate America is all about the dollar. We've been taught that we're each other's enemies. EPA is not the enemy. We protect American families from those that are determined to allow their greed to take our country backwards, to make America gray again. That's the plan, to make America gray again. And for what? The almighty dollar. We cannot allow that, and only we can stop it. There's not a politician that's going to do a thing unless we say so. So we got to demand that our leaders step up and take charge of things and make sure that we're maintaining our health. Federal. We vilify the federal servants. I served in the military. Nobody vilifies the military because we protect America. Well, it's the same thing for all your federal agents. We are federal servants. I took an oath to this job. I swore the same oath that I swore when I signed up for those 20 years in the Marine Corps. Not a word was different. So we have to make sure that we serve, and those employees at the EPA must be allowed to do that. We've been made scapegoats. We follow orders, and we should not be punished for doing that. No order, no regulation comes through any of these agencies unless they're approved by Congress. So why are we talking about what's wrong with what federal government is doing? It's what's right. Now, how we do it, that's a different argument, and I'm not going there. But I want you to remember, federal equals public, public equals people. You, me, our families, we are the people, we are the public, we are the federal government. We are the United States of America. America is not for sale. America is not for sale. America is not for sale. And we will fight back. Veterans are getting a double slap in the face. Right now as we speak, my brothers and sisters in the armed forces at any moment could be called up to defend against Korea, Syria, and any other person or country that wants to make an attack against us. And we should not view attacks from corporate America any differently. It says that we will protect and defend against enemies, both foreign and domestic. So we must fight back. Greed is the driver. We cannot allow it to happen. The attacks against the federal government are nothing less than the efforts of the elite to take and divide the everyday working people. It's an attack upon the working class. The reductions to the EPA budget will eviscerate us to the point where all we can do is take the blame for what corporations do to us. So everyday people, it's up to you. You got to wake up, stand up, speak up, fight back, protect your EPA, because it's trying to protect you. Fight back, fight back, fight back. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. You can go on. Thank you. Before our next performer, I want to point out that we have water stations for you to fill up your water. It's back here along where the porta potties area. Also, Sarah James, our Alaska elder, Sarah James, your medicine is back in the lost and found. It's back in those 3 white tents back there. So if Sarah James alerts somebody around you, your medicine is back in the lost and found in those 3 white tents. She's an elder from Alaska. Our next performer, Nia Gates, is a senior in high school and currently works with big class youth poets in New Orleans and will now read her letter to President Trump.
Good evening, fellow articulate rebels. My name is Nia Gates, and today I am here representing New Orleans and Big Class. Big Class is a nonprofit organization that helps develop creative writing skills in youth of New Orleans between the ages of 6 and 18 to then publish their work. Today, I will share student letters about the election of Donald Trump from our recent publication called I Want You to Know Something About Me, and also a poem from yours truly. The first reading is from TG, who is in grade 6. Dear Donald Trump, I think you should fix the holes in the streets because it feels like our cars are going to break, and people would not like that. Also, Donald Trump, I think you need to help with the environment. In our neighborhood, it's bad because our drains are bad, and when storms come, it floods because the drains are not fixed. Also, Donald Trump, I would like to write about trees because if we don't have trees, we will not have oxygen or paper, so our animals will have freedom. P.S. Please read my note and please make a change. The second letter is from myself, and it's Dear America, I can't write a letter to Donald Trump because I don't want to have any association with the idea of actually being in his presence. For him to receive any piece of me is not in my agenda. I choose not to think about this election because all that spews from it is hate. Why would I want to walk through these streets already a black woman, but also having to worry about who may be a Trump supporter? Though I strongly believe in the idea of ignorance is bliss. With this situation, my eyes are open, but my heart is not. My heart and mind need to be on my city. I can't control the country, but I can put my foot in the door. The last reading from this poem, from our book, is from Chastity Hunter in grade 12. Dear Donald Trump, I've been on this earth for 17 years. It has been a tough life, but it took me 17 seconds to understand the density of the bigotry you're encompassing. You and your cohort are mapping out the destruction of a land that just started to accept people of different backgrounds and sexualities. I think our nation deserves better than a man who is a lip flapper or a man who is famous for destroying jobs on a whim. But there is no reason we should go back. Now that we have a bigoted, superficial racist as president, I'm not sure what to do. And all this is besides the fact that I am a girl. Not much is to be said for the heinous, malicious acts that Donald Trump has committed against women. And lastly, a poem from myself. It's called Hold Your Seats, The Tree Speaks. And this is from a perspective of a tree, so don't hate me. Did you know
that I give oxygen to those wasteful, ungrateful beings. My species will live through eternity catering to the blind as they kill me with their engine exhaust gases that's created from their idle brains. I will be driven insane if I had their squishy gray matter craniums. And yes, I am aware of what is in the interior of those meat bags they call bodies, as their blood has replenished my roots for centuries. My brethren and I have watched the building of empires to the fall of civilizations. We give life to every soul that is pushed and pulled into this prepossessing planet. We have been here longer. We gave breath before there was even thought. Even the dinosaurs were nicer to us, and yet we have to breathe in your toxic gases, one that makes our roots shrivel and our foliage depressed, our trunks old and tired, like what happens to you after 50 years of smoke evading your lungs voluntarily, killing me as well as yourselves. I didn't ask for your secondhand smoke nor your axe to my back. Imagine it, a tree tall as can be. All we ever wanted was to touch the clouds that we see as our own heaven, but we are pulled down, chopped for wood, killed for nothing of true worth but these two-legged beings killing me whilst killing themselves. Thank you.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, man, the youth, this generation is amazing. It's something magical to see right now. Isn't it? Isn't it? Come on up. It's powerful. All right, next is Alina Saba, an indigenous activist from Nepal. Let's give a round of applause for Alina Saba.
From Nepal. I'm honored to march together with you all here in Washington, D.C. I'm here with my fellow indigenous sisters from Peru, Tanzania, Nicaragua, Kenya, Canada, and the United States. Till yesterday, we were in New York negotiating the indigenous people's right in UN Permanent Forum in UN headquarters. In the past week, we heard so many similar stories of how climate change is impacting indigenous peoples and indigenous women around the world. Today, I stand with you, all of you here, to speak the facts about the climate change, to speak what climate change looks like for indigenous peoples and women living in the most vulnerable climate countries in the world. Climate change for us comes in the form of landslides, erratic rainfall, low food production, melting glaciers, and ultimately loss of our livelihoods and displacement from our ancestral homelands. Who has an answer when a family loses their only piece of land with a ready-to-harvest crop to a landslides? Who has an answer when a woman has to walk 3 hours just to fetch a liter of drinking water? And mother spends day and night distressed how to put food on the table for the family, and finally decides to leave her home to work as a migrant worker in an unsafe environment, risking either being sexually harassed or being trafficked. But sadly, this is the reality we live in today. The exploitation of indigenous peoples has always been tied with the exploitation of land and resources, be it in the form of mining, land grabbing, or extractive industries. Both the climate change and this inequality is caused by the injustice, the economic system, the capitalism, which concentrates the power and resources in the hands of tiny few and discards the rights of indigenous people and women. Climate change is the new form of colonization. We need to understand this. The historical responsibility of global warming lies in the hands of developed countries like the US. It makes more than 2/3 of the global greenhouse gas emission, but has done little or nothing to admit the climate change. It spends $600 billion on military funding, but so little on their environmental protection. We can do the basic math, and this imbalance shows us what our world leaders prioritize. Do we agree with them? No. That is why we are here, all of us, to resist, to take action against climate change. Because we care and we know climate change is real. If humans are going to have future in this planet, it will have to be one where indigenous women are protected, organized, and are powerful. Because when indigenous women thrive, we will survive. Humanity will survive. So our most important strategy lies in organizing ourselves, organizing our community in local and both global level, seeking climate solutions that lies in just transition, energy democracy, climate change, the knowledge of climate change we are based on feminist principles, indigenous knowledge, and creating a feminist fossil fuel-free future. The most vulnerable climate communities on the front line are taking action because they don't have a choice. For those of us, for many of us living in the developed country who has choice and privilege, I request to act, all of you to act fast and hard to change the climate change. And we are not alone in this struggle. We are in solidarity. This is what resistance looks like. This is what movement building looks like. We need to take power back in our own hands from the political leader and build our own movement and correct this unequal system which has created the climate change. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Let's give her a good round of applause, everybody. Round of applause. I see Trump even came and visited us. Look, he's in the back. Look at over there. It's Trump. Hey, it's bigly. It's bigly. It's huge. All right, friends. So we are very, very excited. This is what democracy looks like. Indeed, indeed. First and foremost, when we talk about climate change, we have to make the connection between U.S. foreign policy and climate change. Think about militarization. Who is the biggest polluter in the world? The United States military. Now, we won't even get into in-depth about how many environmental justice communities here in the United States are right by military bases. We won't talk about the environmental impact of a war like the one we've been in forever in Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan. But we are here to talk about it, and there's no better person that can bring home the connection between the U.S. military and climate change and peace activism than Mr. George Paz Martin. George Paz Martin is a native of Milwaukee, and he is with the Martin Luther King Justice Coalition. He is the former national co-chair of United for Peace and Justice, and he is the Green Party Shadow Cabinet Ambassador of Peace. Everybody, let's give a nice peace to our good friend, Mr. George Paz Martin. Thank you.
No more war. Stop the wars. Save the planet. Hello, family. The U.S. military is the single largest consumer of energy in the world and the world's single largest source of greenhouse gas emissions. The U.S. military doesn't measure fuel by miles per gallon. It measures fuel by gallons or barrels per hour. Tanks consume 250 gallons of fuel an hour. Jet planes use 1,580 gallons of fuel per hour. And the big ones, the B-52s, they burn 6 barrels of oil per hour. The U.S. military consumes as much as 1 million barrels of oil a day and contributes 5% of the global warming on this earth. Add to that the other militaries around the world. By the way, the U.S. Congress has exempted the U.S. military and the Border Patrol from U.S. environmental and endangered species laws and the United Nations greenhouse gas agreements. The military response to climate chaos is one, to control, eliminate, or stop mass migrations. And two, to wage wars over dwindling resources such as oil, water, arable land, and minerals. Resource wars are being waged right now. Syria with its 10-year drought. Israel-Palestine for control of water. Darfur, Sudan, with 30 years of desertification, moving from the north to the south to the sub-Saharan. African land grabs for arable land and minerals. And deforestation in South America and Southeast Asia. The record-breaking heat of our planet is equivalent to more than 300 atomic bombs. Stop the wars. Save the planet. Mic check, repeat after me. Mic check. Save the wars, stop the wars. Save the planet. Keep it in the ground. Keep the oil under the soil. Keep the gas under the grass. Keep the coal in the hole. System change, not climate change. Renewable energy, sustainable life, peace and love.
Now we're going to hear about the solutions to the climate crisis from Chris. Come on up, Chris. Chris Woolery is a pioneer in green construction and remodeling in central Kentucky for over a decade. And so I'm so proud to have him come on up. No, he's not the banner. He's actually a human being here. Here he comes. Give a round of applause for Chris here. Thank you.
Woo! Hey, y'all. My name's Chris Woolery. I'm an energy efficiency professional from Lexington, Kentucky. I've been blessed to speak here today because I'm a member of Kentuckians for the Commonwealth. And we're members of the Climate Justice Alliance. And also because Kentucky is on the front lines of the world's transition away from fossil fuels. In Kentucky, we know a thing or two about power. Kentuckians helped power America through the Industrial Revolution and through 2 world wars. In fact, Kentucky's coal communities have provided the power to the world since 1820, when our state's first commercial coal mine opened in Muhlenberg County. And I learned that fact at the Kentucky Coal Museum in the town of Benham. And I'm telling you this now because just a few weeks ago, that museum installed solar panels on its roof. Yeah, you heard that right. We Kentuckians know about power, but we're not satisfied with the same old power. You might be surprised to hear it, but we know some things about new power too, and we know the difference between the two. We know that old energy power destroys our land, poisons our water, and harms our bodies. We know that old economic power extracts labor and wealth from our communities, especially communities of color. And we know that old political power is controlled by a good old boy network of wealthy elites. But we ain't gonna settle for that old power anymore. And that's why Kentuckians for the Commonwealth have been working on this issue since at least 2009, when my friend Randy Wilson told a crowd at our state capitol building on I Love Mountains Day, when he said, there is green energy. We have no more excuses. There is a way out. We know the way. A green economy is already here. There are jobs. And so, we're building that new power in Kentucky every day.
We're creating a just transition to make sure our workers and our communities are not left behind. Because we know that new energy power restores our lands, protects our water, and heals our bodies. We know that new economic power builds wealth in small communities that are small businesses that are rooted in our communities. And we know that new political power allows everyone to participate in our democracy. So since Kentuckians for the Commonwealth empowered me to be here today, and my friends in Appalachia are fighting white nationalists, so they couldn't come, and I'm here to represent them. And I want to recognize the work that came before me that they've been doing. And I want to quote Randy Wilson one more time from that same rally way back in 2009 when Randy said, "Here's the challenge before us. If you join us today and tomorrow and the rest of tomorrows, then one day will come when our grandchildren will sit at your knee and you'll look at them in the eye and you'll say, 'Honey, I was there when we started to turn this thing around. They threatened to take my job, but I was there. They told me to shut up, but I was there. They took my water, but I was there.' Somebody needs to stand. If we keep standing, we keep the promise of our ancestors to our sons and daughters. And we can say we were there to keep that promise. Because what we do to the land, we do to the people. Say it with me, what we do to the land, what we do to the water. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak here today.
Woo, 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 woo! How y'all feeling? Yes. Climate, jobs, and justice. Yes, indeedy. All right. So as everybody, we're going to get ready to hear some music in just a little bit from a great band called Sahel. But first, I want to bring to the stage a very good friend of mine. Her name is Dorothea Thomas, and she is all about climate, jobs, and justice for her hometown of Detroit, Michigan. All right. She is the Detroit and Great Lakes organizer for the Sierra Club Michigan chapter. All right, Sierra Club, I see some of y'all in the building. And is the founder of the Detroit Environmental and Water Alliance, a community group dedicated to the pursuit of social justice. Everybody give Dorothea a big round of applause. Y'all can do better. Come on now, come on now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Woo!
Hey, DC. Woo! I am Dorothea Thomas, a resident of Detroit, Michigan. Also, I work for the Sierra Club Michigan chapter as a Detroit and Great Lakes organizer. I am here today because my freshman year in college, my grandmother was diagnosed with 3 very rare forms of cancer. And one of the things the doctors told us was, if we lived in a healthier, a cleaner environment, it would have prolonged her life. She had to choose if she wanted to invest in my education and support our family or move and pay for her medication. She chose me. That year, she passed away. Also, I was diagnosed with a very rare eye disease called scleritis. Inflammation of the sclera is directly correlated to the carbon atmospheric conditions in our air. Folks in Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit, Flint, all across the Great Lakes region know and they pay the price of the dirty fossil fuel industry with their lives every day. My grandparents, they done all that they could do to support me and raise me in an upright way. And now that I am a mother expecting to be, at 7 months, I want to bring my daughter into this world knowing that she has a cleaner, safer environment for future generations to come. Communities of color, indigenous people, and low-income communities bear a disproportionate burden of toxic chemical exposure and related negative health outcomes. 60% of African Americans and 80% of Latino, Latina, Latinx Americans live in communities that are below EPA air quality standards. And that's not right. If the 45th administration wants to make America great again, he has to make communities that have been disproportionately impacted by environmental injustice, climate injustice, water injustice great again. Because one thing I know, healthy people equals a healthy economy. The current administration must know that Black lives do matter, that environmental justice is relevant, that climate science is real, that water is life, and the people and the planet must always come before profits and corporate polluters. The time for climate justice, environmental justice, and water justice is right now. This marks the beginning to a new movement. Say it after me. The people, the planet, and peace over profit. The planet and peace over profit. The people, the planet, and peace over profit. Thank you.
You, each and every one of you, are amazing for sticking. Oh, there goes my script. Boom. Don't need it, don't need it. Actually, I kind of do. Each and every day, you open up the laptop, or you look on your phone, or you talk to somebody and you hear some struggle. You hear about some hardship. And it's easy to let you get overwhelmed. But for myself, I also take a time to look at the beauty around us. You take that moment to look at your loved ones, or even just look at that cup of water and realize this is a gift unto itself, some clean water. So I want you to look around, look in your life right now, and just give that thanks for something in your life. So I want to give a round of applause. Give me a round of applause for something that you're thankful for. Let me hear it. Sahel is a band that interprets musical genres influenced by African culture around the world. Their music is blended colors of culture on the canvas of African rhythms. Their music is inspired by tradition and dedicated to the progress of music that moves the world. I want you to give a round of applause here for our musical guest, Sahel.
Washington, D.C., how you doing today? Yeah, I know you were a little hot and tired after that marching, but we promise we're going to give you a reason to stick around. And the one thing we want to make sure we get across to you is that the philosophy of most of the earth cultures of the world is very simple. 2 points we want to get to you. One, you can't be an environmentalist without being a humanitarian. If you know that all life is hooked together, then you know that all life must be respected together in order for it to move forward. If you don't have that, there's a link missing in the chain, and it's not going to have the progress that you're expecting. Part two, dancing is spiritual, and dancing is prayer. That's it.
And then we got 4 more after that. No, we got 3 more.
bouger. Nous pas bouger. Nous pas bouger. Pas moyen bouger. Nous pas bouger. Scooby. Tingiri ba Scooby. Batakumbera Scooby. Kayele jamana. Hey, tu vas pouvoir vendre, tu vas pouvoir faire la finale. Tu vas pouvoir gagner. Scooby. Tingiri ba Scooby. Moare. Hey, tu vas pouvoir vendre, tu vas pouvoir faire la finale. Tu vas pouvoir gagner. Tu vas pouvoir gagner. Coopère français, coopère chinois, coopère japonais. A combattre, tu vas bouiller. Scooby. Tigiri ba Scooby. Batakumbera Scooby. Male maman sans les gambes, on fait mon manaye. C'est des secondes mes femmes. Souvenez-vous d'Allah. Quand t'as bougé, nous pas bouger. Nous pas bouger. Pas moyen bouger. Nous pas bouger. Nous pas bouger. Nous pas bouger. Pas moyen bouger. Nous pas bouger. Scooby. Tigiri ba Scooby. Batakumbera Scooby. Moare. Hey, tu vas pouvoir vendre, tu vas pouvoir faire la finale. Tu vas pouvoir gagner. Tu vas pouvoir gagner. Coopère français, coopère chinois, coopère japonais. A combattre que tu vas bouiller. Zumbi. Tingiri ba Zumbi. Batakumbera Scooby. Male maman sont les gambes, on fait mon manaye. C'est des secondes mes femmes. Souvenez-vous d'Allah. Quand t'as bougé, nous pas bouger. Nous pas bouger. Pas moyen bouger. Nous pas bouger. Nous pas bouger. Nous pas bouger. Pas moyen bouger. Nous pas bouger. Hey! Farafina français, farafina anglais, farafina japonais, farafina chinois. Kaila tu vas boule, farafina bonne. Coopère Scooby. Scooby. Farafina français, farafina anglais, farafina japonais, farafina chinois. Kaila tu vas boule, farafina bonne. Coopère Scooby. Scooby. Tigiri ba Scooby. Batakumbera Scooby. Mare maman sont les gambes.
Yes, that one was from Mali, West Africa. We're going to give you a little bit of something from the Caribbean before we go.
So just cue.
ça passer. Tout ça c'était dans mes amis pour nous soulager. À passer, c'est, swing à babo, swing à di, swing à babo. Swing à babo. When di swing à di bo. Swing à babo. When di swing à di bo. Nous quand c'est pas des amis pour nous faire ça passer. Tout ça c'est dans mes amis pour nous soulager. À passer, c'est, swing à babo, swing à di, swing à babo. Swing à babo. When di swing à di bo. Swing à babo. When di swing à di bo. Nous quand c'est de mes amis on nous fait ça passer. Tout ça c'est dans mes amis pour nous soulager. Avancer, c'est, swing à babo, swing à di, swing à babo. Swing à babo. When di swing à di bo. Swing à babo. When di swing à di bo.
Save our water! Save our water!
Thank you very much, DC. We are Sahel from right here in this area, bringing you African rhythms from around the world. Keep up the fight, y'all. We got at least 4 more years to go.
Yes!
Yeah.
Give it up for Sahel! Yes! We needed that energy. I saw y'all in the front getting down. Where's my man with the red feather boa? I see you. Hey, boo. Hey. All right, you can get up now. Feel like a coming to America moment.
Get a little
Just
awkward.
a man I met in the restroom. All right. Real quick, we're happy to see y'all. We wanted to give you an update on the numbers. Do y'all see Marine 1 over there? Everybody say, dump Trump. Hey, hey. Ho, ho.
Ho, ho.
Donald Trump has got to go.
Donald Trump has got to go.
Where is the Sandman? They need to just let him exit out. Yes, it is him, because there goes the other 2 helicopters. Somebody said he was having a rally today, too. Do you think it was as big as this one? How many people did we have out here? Does anybody know? We had over 200,000 people out here today. From all over. And y'all still look good, even after all the heat, especially this lady with the hat. Look at you. Fly as you want to be. Okay. Talk about that bee work, but let's go into our next guest, definitely our next speaker.
We have 3 speakers left here before we close it out. I want to make sure you give some love to our speakers that are coming up. Our next one is Johanna Vicente, works with Maryland League of Conservation Voters. She got some fans here in the Latino community of Southeast Baltimore. Let's give a round of applause here for Johanna Vicente.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Johanna Vicente. I am a community organizer with Chispa, Maryland, a program of the Maryland League of Conservation Voters. I am proud to be joined here today by many of our community members that we work with in Maryland, and they're right over there. I am here fighting for environmental justice because families and communities like mine carry the burden of climate change, yet our voices are erased from the broader fight. I was born in Ecuador, a country where our indigenous population is being displaced left and right by government and corporate greed. I am passionate about environmental justice because for me it is personal. It is personal because my mom was diagnosed with asthma after a few years of being in this country. For many years, she struggled to breathe, going to the hospital on multiple occasions with severe respiratory conditions. As I grew up, I learned that poor air quality causes and triggers asthma. That is when my passion for having a cleaner planet began. I am in this fight because I want an environment where our communities can go outside and not worry about whether they will be able to breathe or not. I want to be able to look back and say that we have left this planet better for future generations. I want to make sure that our Madre Tierra is being protected. Woo! This fight is also personal because our community is being affected disproportionately. Communities of color and low-income communities are the most affected by environmental issues. Our communities are the ones closest to power plants, highly trafficked highways, and dirty emissions. They are surrounded by trash and litter and often neglected and lack the basic resources to live. Back home in Maryland, we are working on our Clean Buses for Healthy Niños campaign. This campaign aims to replace diesel school buses with zero-emission buses, which would benefit kids across the states. The Clean Buses campaign will be possible thanks to our strong group of promotoras, many of whom are here today. As one of our promotoras said, estamos expuestos al aire contaminado todos los días. And these strong women are doing something about it. This isn't just about the environment. It is about people's lives. It is about saving the communities that we live in. From advocating for fair housing to fighting for clean air and water, our promotoras have demonstrated that the environment affects us everywhere. This amazing group of women has worked hard to fight for the rights of their communities. In fact, some of these women here were vital for helping the city of Hyattsville receive a sanctuary status. Nuestras promotoras demostraron que nuestras comunidades no se dejarán intimidar. Para nada, exacto. It is time for the voices of our communities like mine to be at the forefront of the fight for cleaner air, water, and communities. We will not sit back. We will join the conversation. We will join the fight and be part of the solution. The power to create change is on us, and we will make sure that we are heard. Thank you.
When we work on climate justice, it is important to understand that we can't organize in silos. An injury to one is an injury to all, and right now our Muslim brothers and sisters and those who don't ascribe to the gender binary are under attack. One of those fighting against those attacks is Sahar al-Salani. Sahar is a board member of the Muslim Women's League. Let's give a warm round of applause for Sahar at this time.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. That was so cool. Can we just do it one more time? Because it's like, I never thought I would do that in front of the Washington Monument and right down the street from the White House. Okay, so Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you so much. I am here representing the keepers of the faith and moral consciousness. And my, mashallah, and my brothers and sisters, we affectionately refer to ourselves as the A to Zers, from agnostic to Zoroastrian. And most of us were here today. And God has given us each a scripture. And according to all of our holy books, and we were all here today, most of us, I mean, from the pagans to the Druids, to the Muslims, to the Episcopals, to the Methodists, to the Presbyterians, to the Hindus, to the Sikhs, to the Buddhists. Today was one of the coolest days ever because the mellow Buddhists, once they passed Trump Hotel, even they booed, okay? and even our holy scriptures, they remind us that we are all given our own moral autonomy to decipher what is right and what is wrong. And we are reminded that we are all made from dust and we shall return to dust. And that we are a part of an ecological web. Human beings are not superior to our animal, botanical, aquatic, or geological brothers and sisters of God's creation. And our holy scriptures, particularly in the Quran, says that all of God's creation bow alike in adoration to our Creator in their own way. So none of us has the right to impose ourselves because of our greed and our ego and our need for overconsumption, to instill militarism, to over-violate its resources and do self-harm on our brothers and sisters and on ourselves, since we are made from that same earth. And Dr. King often said that racism and militarism and the ego and consumption are all intertwined. I happen to come from the world's oldest indigenous community, from a small country far away. You may have heard about it, Iraq. Okay. Years ago, when the U.S. decided to invade it, I mean, it's strange because if Iraq had exported oranges or tangerines, I wonder if it really would have gone through the process of trying to liberate it. But that's a whole other story. But the very land that was part of the Marsh Arabs, where my ancestors came from, is where God supposedly, many believe, created the first man and woman from that land and that water and breathed life into them and said, "Be." Instead, people around the world discovered oil underneath that land and tragically dug pipelines underneath it and launched a major rape and assault of where humanity and civilization began. And through the years, my ancestors and my current family and tribesmen have faced humiliation that I did not want Standing Rock to go through again. The land now is barren, the only place in the Middle East that had the most lush vegetation. The harsh conditions have caused rise to desperation and rise to extremism. Children are being born with 6 fingers, and as they walk to makeshift schools, they are carrying Halliburton lunchboxes as gas is $17 a gallon in downtown Baghdad. And I did not want to see that happening in Standing Rock. And it is to the indigenous community that I thank them for when I did the pilgrimage to Standing Rock in November. It reminded me of my roots and the human dignity. And for a split second, I saw what my ancestors and my family must have gone through. And that is just one example of what happens every day to indigenous people around the world, because we need more and more and more. And that is what religion refers to as gluttony. And our scripture reminds us over and over again that natural disasters are ramifications of our doing and our self-harm. And most of these people that are affected are vulnerable people. And it's the people of faith. Sorry. That's probably using stolen Iraqi oil right now, but we won't go there. And when these vulnerable people are hit, remember, they don't have ATM cards where they can go and they can wrap up things and go to their houses. The people of moral conscience, when FEMA is playing patty cake or twiddling their thumbs, it's the houses of worship that clothe and feed and house these people, is it not? They don't have a lot of money, and they take care of it. And it's our collective congregations that have money, that have manpower, and that have the real estate. And we have to remember that. And the one thing is that we cannot get our moms mad. Who is the one person in this world that you don't want to make your mom mad? Mom, right? The one person. So I can say it. No one messes with our mama. And I'm speaking for the clergy. Oh, hell no. No one messes with our mama. Say it with me, everybody. No one messes with our mama. And I'm going to end with one of my favorite verses from the Quran. And God specifically refers to humanity in a very interesting way. He refers to us as nations and tribes, which is very, very interesting that he specifically uses the terminology. And God, in our tradition, we believe that the Quran is his monologue that was revealed to him, to the Prophet Muhammad. And he uses the word nations and tribes. And this is my favorite verse. O children of Adam, I have divided you into nations and tribes so that you may get to know one another and live in peace. I have given you each a book and a path so that you may follow that path and that shall lead to me. Do not swerve from that path. I have created you different and in need of one another. Different and in need of one another. Strive for peace. Strive for peace and vie with each other only in that of doing good deeds. For the most noble in the sight of me is the most righteous. God bless you all.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for those words. All right. All right, y'all stick around a little bit longer. Donald Trump was watching us this whole time. We had time to bring him over. He's going to his rally. He's going to go meet up with a couple of close friends in Pennsylvania somewhere. And his daughter in Harrisburg, right? Shh. That's right. Democracy is not for sale. You better not put my mama on the stroll. We are here for Mother Earth, are we not? That's right, for Pachamama. Let's shout out to all the people watching on the live stream who might not have seen Donald Trump's big helicopters, Marine One, leaving out from here as he watched all of us give him a lovely gesture. All right. Now, real quick, coming to the stage, we have someone who represents a statement. A statement that is more than just 3 words. So simple and yet so important. Black Lives Matter. When we think of that statement, it comes up with a lot of different things. It's been a lot of people who've even co-opted that word. But Black Lives Matter here. Black Lives Matter here. Right here in Washington, D.C. and all across the world. So coming to the stage, we have Tenjiwe, who is representing the movement for Black lives and beyond the moment. Because we all are working to strive beyond this day, beyond this moment. And she is here to remind us of our constant need to understand how we must fight for racial justice because it is deeply connected to climate justice. Can we give a big round of applause right now? Tenjiwe, y'all can do better than that. Y'all better give it up for Black Lives Matter. All right now.
How y'all doing? Can you hear me all right? Y'all ready to fight? Y'all ready to fight? Y'all ready to resist? I don't hear you. Y'all know 45 is close, right? Are y'all ready to fight? Are y'all ready to fight? Are y'all ready to fight? I am honored to be here representing the movement for Black lives and those mobilizing beyond the moment. We stand here and struggle with all frontline communities who are leading the fight for justice, for our people, and an end to the harming and the destruction of the planet. As I stand here, I am well aware that we are faced with 2 very powerful and harsh realities. First, we have entered into the fight of our lives. We have entered into the fight of our lives. The kind of fight that requires us to resist an agenda that will bring more suffering onto our communities and cause more harm to our planet. But there is a second reality. The second reality is that winning has never left the realm of possibility. In fact, our movements are growing, our power is strengthening, and resisting has become a chosen mandate of millions. It is our responsibility to not only recognize this reality, but to not be afraid to give voice to our visions of freedom, one that shows respect to Martin Luther King, a Martin Luther King they tried to not let us remember, a Martin Luther King that talked to us about militarism, materialism, and racism. In his memory, I offer the following. On militarism and protecting the planet, we must call for an end to this country's obsession with war. We must call to an end to this country's obsession with war on the world. We must call to an end to the harmful military activity that this country carries out globally. Not only does it lead to the loss of lives and the exacerbation of poverty, but it has made the environment and harms inflicted on the planet a silent and ignored casualty. On capitalism, materialism, and the planet, we must challenge capitalism. Decisions made by this administration and those before it to grow the wealth of the wealthy and the power of multinational corporations and their use of fossil fuels at the expense of the earth must be vigorously confronted. Vigorously confronted. Demanding such calls for a radical redistribution of wealth and power. It means stripping away what has been stolen from us by the very rich and their corporations. And finally, there is no justice without racial justice. There is no climate justice without racial justice. There is no climate justice without gender justice. There is no climate justice without queer justice. There is no climate justice without justice for our queer and trans family. We must end racism. We must call out anti-black racism everywhere it manifests, including within our own movements. And we must respect the leadership of black people, of indigenous people, of people of color, and frontline communities who are most impacted by climate change. This must be a deliberate, strategic choice made as a means to not only end the legacy of injustice in this country, but in an effort to protect the earth. Finally, there is no doubt they may have more money. There's no doubt our opponents may have more money, but we, if we choose, have more power. We cannot forget that we are the growing majority. While at times they may have us with our back against the wall, we must remember that history must remember us as more than just fighting. They must remember us as fighters who had the courage to believe in winning, the imagination to dream, and the heart to envision something radically different. I hope that you all join us, the many of us that are calling for Beyond the Moment on May Day, on May 1st, International Workers' Day. We will see on that day black resistance standing side by side with those fighting for an end to deportation. We will see those who are fighting to protect our earth, our water, our resources, alongside those who are calling for an end to the exploitation of our labor. We will, on this day, as we see today, come together to show this administration and those who seek to gain from its agenda what it means to be on the opposition of a movement more powerful than anything that they have ever seen. We will make sure that history never forgets us. Are you ready to fight? Are you ready to fight? Are you ready to fight? Thank you.
Yes. Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Give it up for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Movement for Black Lives. Before we do anything, I do want to quickly make an announcement. There is a missing female. Her name is Sonia. She is 5'4". She is about 62 years of age. She has brown hair in a ponytail. She is Anglo-American. She has a white shirt and blue jeans on. She is staying at the Hyatt Capitol Hill. If you see her, she may get a little disoriented. It's hot outside. We all get a little disoriented. Hey, did you find Sonia? You're Sonia? But you're not 62. If you are, you look great. Let me just tell you. What is your secret? You look amazing. All right, but if you see Sonia, it's 202-610-7500. 202-610-7500. You really are Sonia?
Are
and you really are
sure?
62? You stop lying. Well, and you're staying at the Hyatt at Capitol Hill? Oh my God, hey, we found Sonia. Yes. Hey, Sonia, and she looks great. She looks amazing. All right, so we want to go ahead. We have our last closing act. And it has been a long day. Some of you have traveled from a long, long way to get here to the nation's capital, and we want to say thank you. Thank you for coming and visiting us in the nation's capital. Let's all live beyond this moment.
We hope to see you in the streets, not only here again, but also back home, wherever you came from. We encourage you to participate in the May Day actions that are coming up. They're taking place all across the country in solidarity with our immigrant brothers and sisters and workers across this country. There will be cultural performances, frontline folks, our communities coming together to express our unified resistance to colonialism, imperialism, and any kind of ism that is meant to destroy and impair our ability to self-determine the health of our peoples. So I want to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. It's such a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful moment to share with each and every one of you. Thank you. You make me so proud, each and every one of you.
Definitely. Definitely. And there's still, shout out to Empower DC. Shout out to all the organizations that played a role in organizing this massive 100,000 people march right here in Washington, D.C. Please go to People's Climate March to figure out follow-up actions, other events happening, especially in the city. Today, there's lots of things, but before anything else, let's close this out with a very wonderful group called Sanctuaries. Now, Sanctuaries is a group that's near and dear to my heart. They use their faith, and they showcase it through arts and culture. They're DC-based, have a congregation that's based right down the street from my house in Ivy City. Shouts out to Ward 5 of Washington, D.C. And they've done some amazing work for the organization that I work with, Empower DC, helping us to spread the word about displacement in the Berry Farms community of Washington, D.C. and Southeast. So we want to say, give a big round of applause for Sanctuary.
Thank you all.
Thank
You're
you,
beautiful.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. See y'all again soon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I am Gabrielle Williams. I'm here with Hassan, Talib, Naika, Edie Blue, and Lakshmi. Together, we represent the Sanctuaries. We are a sacred community of artists and activists from diverse racial and spiritual backgrounds. Sanctuaries is the only interfaith arts collective in the country, and we're based right here in the nation's capital. We're so pleased to be here with you all today. Before we start, I just want to give thanks first to the ancestors, because without them, we would not be here. I think it's especially symbolic that we're here, right, adjacent to the National Museum of African American History, where the memory of one of my direct ancestors is enshrined. And so I'm so proud to be here with all of you today and next to my ancestor. So let's just all give a big ashe for the ancestors. Ashe! I want to give special thanks to all of the elders that braved the heat today, that came from far and wide and from close by. Because you lead us and we honor you, and without you, we would not be who we are. And thank you as well to the youth for giving us the vibrance and the life and the inspiration that we need to move on. You all are the future. We're here together today to stand up for our grandmother Earth. You, me, all of us, we're all warriors in our own ways. We are facing a long and arduous battle with the highest of stakes. But what we must remember is that a warrior cannot fight the good fight without self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup, brothers and sisters. So we, the Sanctuaries community, are here to bring you some healing, loving care. Let's give thanks and gratitude to our grandmother Earth for giving us the breath of life.
Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon all of you. I'm going to recite a couple verses from the Quran from a chapter called Ar-Rahman to close us out. Surah Rahman means the mercy giving, and it comes from the root rahim in Arabic, which means the womb. So it's a word to describe someone who's as merciful to you as your mother is to the womb in the child in the womb, basically. And the meaning of the surah, these verses basically is that God talks about his creation of the stars and the trees and the gift of human language. And he says that he's created the heavens and the earth in a balance. And you, O humanity, O people, do not upset that balance. And I think that's what we're all here trying to do today. And I think that's a good prayer for us to end on, which is that we're all trying to, and we're going to continue striving to keep the balance and restore the balance that needs to exist between humanity and the natural world and this planet. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان صدق الله العظيم.
So I'm a sound healer, that's what I do, and I know that one of the most powerful paths to healing is through song. We offer you now a medicine song from the shamanic tradition of the Andes. It's called Pachamama, which in the pre-Columbian, pre-colonial Quechua language means Mother Earth. Medicine music is something that is meant to be shared cross-culturally. And I learned this song from my shamans down in South America during my time there. And it's afforded me a lot of healing through my journey. And the song says, Mother Earth, you warm me, you feed me. She is literally, quite literally, our mother. But much like any other thing worth doing, this song will only be powerful if we all sing it together. So we will lead you and ask that you just breathe really deeply. Connect with all of those around you, and especially the earth beneath you that's given us the breath of life. Madre Tierra, Pachamama, Madre Tierra, Pachamama, la Madre Tierra me calienta, la Pachamama me alimenta. La Madre Tierra me calienta, la Pachamama me alimenta. Madre Tierra, Madre Tierra, Pachamama, Pachamama, Madre Tierra, Madre Tierra, Pachamama.
calienta. La Pachamama me alimenta. La Madre Tierra me calienta. La Pachamama me alimenta.
Madre Tierra.
Madre Tierra.
Pachamama.
Pachamama.
Madre Tierra.
Madre Tierra.
Pachamama.
Pachamama.
La Madre Tierra me calienta.
La Pachamama me alimenta. La Madre Tierra me calienta. La Pachamama me alimenta.
Madre Tierra.
Madre Tierra. Pachamama.
Madre Tierra.
Madre Tierra. Pachamama.
Namaste. Ashe. Amen. Saravá. We thank you. And I just want to make sure you all know there are art installations to the left and to the right. We want you all to participate in both. And before you go, let us just have you repeat after us.
Mother Earth, I will protect you.
Mother Earth, I will protect you. Mother Earth, I will respect you.
Mother Earth, I will respect you.
Mother Earth, I will fight for you.
Mother Earth, I will fight for you.
Thank you.
Namaste.